Hello everyone, it's Larry. This is a video of how I made this LEGO mini London Underground tube station. 2 years ago, I made a video of my 4-stud wide tube train model, which I liked making, and I had various loose ideas for other London train builds. Unfortunately though, I discovered last year that my tube train design was blatantly stolen by the London Toy Company. Not only that, but it's officially licensed plagiarism too, which really sucks. I tried getting in contact with them, and with TFL, but to no avail. So that left a bad taste in my mouth making anything like that. But before I found out about this, I'd had an idea for a tube station to go with the train, so I thought I might as well finish it. This first draft essentially revolved around a building technique I figured out to make the walls rounded. You can see the various techniques I attempted this with, but I went with these pieces. I also used tile pieces, stacked like bricks, to represent the tiles of the real station. I based it on Oxford Circus Station, specifically the northbound Central Line platform, though it's not an exact recreation, more of a loose basis. With the curved tile wall serving as a proof of concept, I developed the build further, with the station signboards, the line colour indicator, and the ventilation. You can also see down here that I progressed the floor. I represented the square tile pattern with square tiles, and used a studs knot on top, or snot technique, to achieve the yellow and white lines. For a completely flat, level floor like this, surprisingly complex techniques were necessary. I wanted this to be a very compact diorama, but I knew I wanted the ending wall, a help point, a door, a bench, and a roundel, or the London Underground symbol, displaying the station name. I built up the walls, so far blank, and made a door cutout. I placed tiles on the inside, which didn't look great, but it'll do for now. I also wasn't sure on the orientation of the wedge slopes on top. I wanted it to be a cutout design and not actually do the full tube, so I wanted it to look like it would carry on. While I was up here, I experimented with how I was going to mount the overhead signs. Since I didn't have the actual ceiling, they'd have to be mounted on the wall. I first tried hinge pieces, and used the smallest signs I could for them to fit in scale. And it worked, in that they'd be suspended parallel to the floor, but I thought it looked kind of ugly, and that most of the viewer's attention is drawn to this huge hanging mechanism up here. On a side note, I attempted building the roundel on the wall. I was pretty happy with how it looked in the draft, but it was way too big on the station wall, and completely out of scale with the real thing. I knew that a brick-built roundel would look more impressive and cool than just slapping a sticker on. But at this scale, it was such a challenge, and I didn't know if it would even be possible. That is, until I came across the life ring piece. I thought, this could work. But I was honestly scared to check Bricklink to see if red life ring bricks even exist. Just my luck though, the LEGO gods were on my side. And they do. The design isn't perfect, but it's probably the best I'm getting at this scale. You've probably also spotted the bench I added. I kept it simple with a 1x4 panel, and opted to sticker the yellow parts, as, again, not much more I could do at this scale, and I wasn't a fan of this option. I found a solution for the ugly sign holders, slimming them down with much smaller pieces. I tested with real bricks, and the grip between these bricks is surprisingly strong, so I didn't have to worry about the signs drooping downwards. I also simplified the door interior, using fewer pieces. With these hurdles overcome, all I had left was to finish out the full diorama. I first added the help point, which was mostly changing the tile colours, but I was very happy with using a boat stud on a round plate to achieve the look. At this scale though, everything on it would have to be a sticker. For the brick wall, I chose to use white masonry bricks, both because I happened to have some lying around, and because it would keep it simple with less snot nonsense. I made a curved black border to imply the tunnel, and a curved top to imply the tube shape of the whole station. After adding an additional overhead display for the help point, I felt like it was pretty much ready to build, and so I ordered the pieces. But I also used a bunch of my own. I live streamed the build right here on this channel. Subscribe so you don't miss a stream. Here it is without any stickers. Then it was time for the stickers. I had many references from the real life station to take inspiration from. I designed custom graphics to fit the LEGO bricks in Photoshop. When they were done, I printed them on sticky back paper. And then it was done. One last thing, I paid one more visit to the real station. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and maybe check out my other stuff. Also, I've been working on a video in real London involving me and my friends playing a giant game of tag. Be sure to check that out if you're interested. This build was voted for by my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Consider joining to download instructions I've made and see exclusive updates. And a DLR train is on the way. Ta-ta for now.